Involve the whole family as much as you can as you evolve the diet. If everybody in your family is eating pizza on Friday nights and your one child on the autism spectrum is on a GFCF diet, that's torture. Can you imagine when you're on a diet and someone brings a plate of brownies to work? So if you can get everybody to participate, that's ideal. And you know, typically most people in the family are going to have a similar genetic background, and they're going to probably benefit from the same diet in one way or another. You might have one child on the autism spectrum, one child with ADHD, maybe a mother with an autoimmune or a father with migraines or something. Often they will all benefit. So I would really work on putting the whole family on the diet when you can. Remove anything that you know to be an allergen or suspect to be an allergen right away, and then begin to add some nutrient-dense foods. This is a long-term process. You can start right now, and this is something you'll probably work on for years, just getting more nutrient-dense foods in there. Fermented foods, adding those as you can. And then what you're going to do is you're going to introduce gluten and casein-free substitutes before you take out that gluten and casein. Then you can start to implement the gluten and casein-free diet at that point. And then from there, determine if there's other foods that the child's also intolerant to. So you want to chart your progress. You really want to have an idea and only do one thing at a time. Because if you start 2 or 3 different interventions at once, it's hard to know what is helping them and what is not. Or if you see something negative, it's going to be hard to know. So start with one thing and take some notes, keep a diet record if you can, and then you can start to see some other patterns like, wow, every time I give him corn or every time I give her peaches or whatever it might be, I see a problem. And then you can start to make a pattern. But if you try to think back, it's really hard to try to find any pattern to it. And then you want to watch for signs of regression, because regression can be good or it can be bad. So for instance, if you take out gluten and casein and they are not doing well, it could be because they're going through a little bit of an opiate withdrawal. And hopefully we're going to talk in the afternoon about doing it slowly and hopefully avoiding some of that. But if they're really unhappy, or, I mean, think about if someone is detoxing from heroin or something, or whatever that might be, they might not be feeling so good, they might be cranky, they might be angry. Is it that when we took out the gluten that they're having a little bit of a reaction and that's going to clear up pretty rapidly and they're going to feel great in a short period of time? Or is it that we just substituted corn, and corn is equally problematic food, and now we're seeing a negative thing from corn? So what we need to kind of be our own detectives. And again, you moms and dads are with your children all the time. You know them better than anybody else does. You have this gut instinct. Go with your gut. If you feel like, you know what, this isn't right, then back up. Start over again, start fresh, and figure out where to go from there. But you have to kind of do a little interpretation. Usually if something is fairly mild and short-lived, it usually is something that was kind of a positive thing. If it's something that is strong or extreme or goes on for a longer period of time than a few days, then I would say, you want to back up and see what you might have done and start over or seek some help out from somebody. And that brings me to the point that there's a lot of help out there. There are nutrition consultants, there are doctors, there are naturopaths, there are all sorts of people that can assist you. I work with people from actually around the world. I do phone consultations and internet, Skype type video conferencing and different things with people. Seek out somebody, whether it's somebody local or somebody somewhere that you can really work with. A lot of times you might be able to implement, say, the GFCF diet on your own, but then sometimes if you start layering the diets, or do they have a problem with corn, and do they have a problem with phenols, and they have a problem with oxalate, or they have a yeast problem, it can get a little bit complicated. So seek out somebody that can assist you with it, or a parent that's done it before to help you implement, say, the GFCF basics or something like that. It can make a really, really profound difference and be really helpful, and most people are more than happy to help you out with that. So if you need any more information on me, my book is called Nourishing Hope, and you can find that at nourishinghope.com. It's got all sorts of scientific information and references about what we talked about and more than we talked about. It has all the different dietary information. It's got resources for every diet that we spoke of today, as well as a lot more background and detail. If you need to convince another family member to go along with this diet. There are a lot of books out there and a lot of physicians that have written wonderful books, and a lot of those resources are available either on my website, which is also at nourishinghope.com, or in the book. Seek out some of those resources, because you often need to elicit help from a therapist or a parent or somebody else, and it's often nice to have this background and the support available for you. And if there's anything that I can do for you, I would be happy to. So thank you very much.